any murder or suicide is tragic. What makes the instance in Newtown, Connecticut on December 14th especially so is that there were 20 defenseless, innocent 6- and 7-year-olds gunned down. And it makes you ask, what sense can be made out of this? And maybe no sense can be made out of any of it, but it does also make you ask, what can I do, or what should be done? And in the debate and the dissecting of how can this happen in a small rural town, and what do we do to help those who have mental challenges? What about gun or ammunition control? And what about school security? What about, what do I teach myself in public places when there's some kind of tragedy like this? But in all this discussion, I think there's something essential missing from this debate. Probably like you, I've been thinking a lot about what's being said. What do we do in the face of such tragedy, such horror? As a husband and father and trustee at a small private school, and my whole adult life I've worked with the poor, many of whom are mentally or emotionally challenged. So this tragedy touches a lot of deep personal areas of my life. It makes me think, though, in all the debate, that something is missing, something essential. Every one of us is made for greatness. And even when one of us has an atrocious turn for the worst, others want to say, how do we help? What can we do? Not just to move on, but to better our life and our community, our world. You and I are unique. Everyone is unique. Yet, we have the same essential spiritual bond. And we know that. This murder-suicide makes me think of that ancient story, the first murder of Cain killing Abel. And remember, when Cain was asked how he responded, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Well, I think I am. I think we are, because we do have the same heritage. We are one family. We are in one small town, and we need to live together with one another. But especially in America today, it's really hard to talk about our common spiritual bond, that we have one creator. We can't talk about the creator. It's even harder to talk about God. And what about God as our Father? Well, we have to, because if we don't, then we don't recognize that we're brothers and sisters. And if you don't think we're brothers and sisters, then you must think that we're different people. We're not the same. We're not bound together. And that separates us. And what we need to do is bring us together. How can we begin that path? I think it starts with a prayer. A simple, private, personal prayer, talking to God, our Father, and asking Him to help us take that next good step. Is that going to stop every tragedy? I don't know, but I do know it's going to bring more of us together. Sure, hug your spouse, hug your kids, help a coworker, lend a hand to a neighbor. Those things are expected. But what about picking up a man on the street, or visiting a woman who's alone, or talking to a troubled kid? What about that? You and I have a choice. I believe a call right now to take that next good step, to begin with a very simple prayer and to reach out to someone else, to look deep inside and then reach out wide to others, especially those who are different than we are. As I reflect and pray about this tragedy, I think it's important to recognize God as our Father, to see each other as brothers and sisters, and to help one another like that. I think that's the beginning of healing and real hope for you, for me, and for our nation. Do you?